Welcome back to the channel. I've not had a lot of time for fishing this week because I've got to look after this little monster. But I did manage to get out and get enough footage for a video. It didn't really go to plan at first. But eventually I caught some fish. And I've used one of the fish along with some langoustines that I got from a local fisherman to make a soup. So it's a catch and cook video. It's going to be quite tough over the next few weeks for me to find time to get fishing, but I'm still going to really try and get a video out every week. And it's still about 3 weeks until Lily can get out and join us. Here's the highlights from this week's fishing. I'm after big pollock again today. This spot is really difficult to reach. The walk in is like up and down so many hills, but hopefully it's going to be worth it. The water here drops almost straight down to about 100 feet deep, so hopefully we've got some monsters waiting for us. I'm starting off with this homemade metal. A few months ago I had a great session here, catching big pollock and wrasse all day long. I'll link that video on the screen at the end. This time though, I fished both sides of the point and worked my way along different areas of the coast, trying both metal lures and these tasty looking soft plastics that Damien, one of the viewers, has kindly made and sent me. I kept working my way along the coast, trying different lures, but I couldn't even get a take. Eventually I made it to a spot that was holding some fish. This small, tough to scale, rocky point. Well, my original plan didn't work out. I fished for hours up on the end at the point. I fished right round the whole point, using soft plastics and metals, and didn't even get a take. So I came round here, but it's a bit more sheltered, and I'm just using my lighter setup. Oh, fish on! It's a little pollock, but I'm very happy to get one. That's took a lot of effort. Fish on. It's just small, but I'm still smiling. I moved along to fish off the end of the point and hooked a bigger fish. That's a decent fish. Well, decent for this light setup anyway. Whew. Ah, no way.
Ah, it got down the ledge there, maybe into some kelp and got off. It's encouraging though. It's another fish. Not quite as big as that last one. In fact, I think it's pretty small. Ah, and it's off as well. It is a really small hook on this lure though.
I changed back over to my heavy setup to fish with my usual 80-gram lures.
Fish on. Not very big. Oh, it's actually putting up a bit of a fight now. Oh, I'm going to guess about £2. Oh. Should be able to lift up. Decent fish. Gotta get him back in quick.
I got a good hit here and didn't hook up, but the fish followed right up to the surface.
Oh! Did you see that? I hope that was on the camera and I wasn't aiming too high. Big fish just came up and took it, well, tried to take it right at the surface. Nearly got smashed right at the rod tip. Thought this was small at first. Oh, it's a good fish. This fish is getting kept. It's hooked in the eye. That's a decent fish. It is a decent fish. I normally don't keep them that size though, I try and get them a little bit bigger. But he was hooked right in the eye there. You can see it was all damaged. So it's better to put him out of his misery instead of putting him back injured. And he'll be put to good use.
So I headed home to turn the fish into something delicious. I got a bucket of langoustine from a local fisherman last week and decided to use some of these with the pollock to make a soup. I cooked the langoustines and separated the meat from the shells. I added the shells back to the water with a couple of onions and some garlic. I let this simmer for about 30 minutes. I chopped up a few potatoes, some red chillies, some more potatoes, and I filleted, skinned and chopped up the pollock. I also deveined the langoustines. A couple of extra ingredients I had were parsley and some smoked paprika, as well as salt and pepper. After about half an hour or 40 minutes, I strained off all the liquid using a fine mesh to make sure that no shell or grit got through. I put the stock back on the heat and added some potato and the chillies. Once the potatoes were soft, I blended this all down until it was smooth. I added the smoked paprika and the parsley, and I put in a good amount of black pepper. Then the last of the chopped potatoes. Once these were soft, I added in the fish and let that cook for about 5 minutes. Then I added in the already cooked meat from the langoustines. This just had to get back up to temperature, and then the soup was ready to serve. I made a similar soup using crabs a few months ago. This is linked on the screen, and it's got a bit more detailed version of the recipe and method in case you want to try making this. Also linked is a much more successful session from this fishing spot. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Cheers!